but I'll record it anyways because who knows what madness will happen. And I'm going to share the page that shows the agenda so you guys have that up on the screen too. Okay. Beautiful ladies. So yeah, I don't know how many people are going to show up today. So I might actually end up doing the masterminds every week, every Wednesday, and then doing readings every other Thursday. I mean, the readings are really popular, but I feel like a lot of you are like totally capable of like doing your own readings anyways. And maybe because we have every other week for masterminds, maybe not as many people can come. And then in that way, if there's like 8 or 10 of you, we might have to split up the group. And we can do breakout rooms in Zoom, which is kind of cool. I've never tried it, but you know, I could designate somebody to be, okay, will you split off with these 3 or 4 other people and you lead that group with, here's the agenda, you know, I think there's quite a few of you that are really savvy in business. And then, you know, if you need my feedback also, I could always go back and watch recordings and add feedback. But yeah, just trying to think of solutions because we do have more people this time around. So I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to do the masterminds. So maybe that's something you guys can weigh in on today a little bit. Just let me know your thoughts. Okay, so we're going to zoom right into it. Aphrodite, go ahead and start. If you want to unmute yourself, tell us, I think we're just going to start with celebrations and then we'll do the round of feedback after that. Okay. You have about a minute and a half, 2 minutes to do your celebrations. Just give us the lowdown.
Okay. What am I celebrating? I've been doing the exercises even though I haven't been posting in the group. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I've been doing the exercises and, talking to myself, having the conversation. And I had this aha moment, which is so silly because it's been right in front of me the whole time, but I couldn't see it. In in-person businesses, you don't need to go around introducing yourself. Hello, my name is Shirley Ann. I help people do, it's never been a thing for me, but online, it's what it is. You need to have that, just so that people know what box to put you in, And for a long time, I've struggled with it because I didn't know which box I would fit in. And so my big celebration is, I help people fall in love, or I help people find love or whatever. And suddenly I feel like, that's what I do, So it's making me very happy. So that's my big celebration.
That's great. I love it. Yeah. So I also want to say that I don't think anybody really is just one person with one business.
No. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like what you do swirls together a lot of things, like Demi, like Suzanne, like I do. There's a lot of different things that we do that actually like work really well together. So I mean, taking Demi as an example, her Venus working course. I mean, Venus is all about beauty and love, but she's also about money. Mm-hmm. She's also about sex. Mm-hmm. There's power. There's a lot of stuff wrapped into Venus, and that's why we love using these archetypes, because they kind of show us like all these different superpowers, all these different talents and gifts that we have. And so, so the challenge becomes, how do we talk about them in a way that ties it together really nicely? Mm-hmm. So that's part of what you're working through. And that's what the course is hopefully going to help you get clear on, each week. Mm-hmm. So, again, I think if you follow your passions and what it seems to be like you said, on your, on your Instagram, like you don't really post unless you really feel like something is just like burning and needs to be said. And which is why your Instagram channel is really awesome. I think that's part of why, for sure. Um, so yeah, you might be really into the beauty aspect. You might be really into the love aspect. You might be into the relationship. You might be into self-love. All of those things work together for the greater
Yeah.
good for what you're doing. So it's okay
Yeah,
to be
but
those
that's the
things.
thing. I understand that, but online, and you can see my resistance towards the whole online business model. People want to be able to identify. When I come to talk to you guys, I don't need to do that, but in real.
Yeah, but I think,
Mhm.
having like that core offering
Mhm.
as part of your brand that you're putting at the forefront will make it clear.
Yes, yes.
That's basically, because brand, even more than words, is all about action. So your offering is a part of the action, what you're doing in your business.
Mhm.
So that's going to help if you just keep focusing
Yeah,
on being of service,
yes.
and
Yeah.
how am I serving, and you know coming, like you said, having your finishing school, having that one big thing, like really kind of driving towards that.
Mhm.
And then all the other stuff, the blog posts, the Instagram, all these different passions are going to help people connect with you more. Like if you're just all business, like this is what I do and blah, 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 and that's all you talk about, it's going to be boring as hell and no one's going to really want to work with
And
you. At least
having
the
been
people
able
you
to,
want, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's a fine line, but you can do it. It's an art. It's an art and a science, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And you're
there's
doing a
some.
great job.
Thank you.
Yay for you.
Mhm.
Okay. And Suzanne, would you like to tell us about your celebrations?
Sure. Um, so, number one, Professor Elemental finally got his tea in the mail. But he hasn't tried it yet. He told me he got it last week, but that he had, I guess, specifically invited a friend to come over to try the teas with him. And then he will be like emailing me back to tell me what he likes the best and everything. So I'm like a little nervous about that, but that's kind of cool. And, I don't know, maybe the friend is somebody cool too. I don't know. Um, but so I'm excited for that. And I guess honestly, like the other accomplishment is just that I managed to have a couple of like conversations or just interactions that I was nervous about because I had two voice clients, one that was just like not paying me on time at all, and one that was paying me wasn't as much the issue as just constantly rescheduling. And then also I had to have like a difficult conversation with one of the ladies in my dance troupe. So I was like kind of worked up about all three of those things. But I just decided to like line them up and shoot them down on Monday and just like, so I invoiced the one person. I just like sent an invoice on PayPal to the one person who kept saying they were going to pay me but didn't, and then they just like sent it right away after I did that. So I don't know, maybe they just needed something that wasn't personal. I don't know. And then the other one just sent the funds for like all the lessons for the month, and I just told her we can schedule them whenever she was ready. And then the other one, and then the conversation, I was able to like speak my truth without like getting too upset, like because this one girl, she had kind of like just done a lot of things that had made me feel hurt and upset over the last couple months, and I felt like she wasn't like emotionally supportive of the troupe and of like her other sisters. So even though I knew, like, I was kind of worried about having the conversation also because she had just gone through a really bad breakup and I didn't want to like make her deal with me also, but like it just had to be said so that we could all move on because we have a lot of big things coming up together. So yeah, it actually went really well. And then the five of us like we haven't been rehearsing together the last couple months, but we're starting to, and we did a little rehearsal on Monday night after class, and like felt the magic, you know, of like that coven dynamic, so to speak. So it's been a really long time since I felt that, and just to have their enthusiasm again is really making a difference. So I hope to keep that going. So yay.
Good for you, darling. I know I was reading your posts and you know about Sean and all of that, and I started tearing up and crying. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, it's so hard to stay detached, you know, from those kinds of outcomes, because we know that when things go awry or go differently than what we want, there's always something better. But yeah, I was kind of invested in that too. So I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So, and I just know those feelings of disappointment because I've felt them so many times. So I really related. I was very kind of in your, maybe a little too like identifying with what was happening with you. But I just want to say, yeah, girl, you're just total rock star for just bouncing back so quickly and just, you know, being true to yourself and your business, you know. I mean, that's great what you've done by speaking out up and doing that. So
I'll tell you guys another time who his job would have been for if he had gotten it, and we may have dodged a bullet. It's somebody very famous. So yeah, I'll tell you another time. But yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, my ex Sean was a celebrity chef, and he has stories.
I did not know that.
Stories of, you know, he was working. It was Paul Hunter. It was a director, and at the time he was dating Pink, and so, like, Sean would get calls like at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. Oh yeah, Pink, you know, wants a martini, and Sean's like, it's 3 a.m. Come over and make us martinis. He's like, what the fuck, whatever. So he was getting paid what he considered good enough to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah.
So he goes there, and Pink just totally like had a crush on my ex. So she started flirting with him, and that was the end of it. Paul Hunter fired him the next day, and he was like, damn.
That's great.
And then he got fired by Cher, which is even funnier. He worked for Cher for 2 days, and she fired him. She says, you make too much food. You're going to make me fat.
That's a compliment, I guess. I mean.
Well, it's a compliment, and also he was making fun of her. He was like, if I could turn back home. Like he was like doing her goat voice or something.
Yes.
And I was like, you were doing that in the kitchen? I'm like, she probably has intercoms everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
He fired you for teasing her, you dumbass.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I want to hear who he was in line to work for. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the end, those jobs are hell. They're hell.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry that, yeah, I know the hopes. But yeah, you're going to take off huge, and he's going to, yeah, you don't need those dumbasses anyways, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. And yeah, and thank you for your comment too. Yeah. The audition was tough, but that ended up good in the end too. So it was like, it was a weird week.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like I said, if it's this Uranus Mars thing in Aries, it's like really forcing us to look at how we lead with our individuality, because Uranus is individuality, and it's not always easy. We want to be accepted and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, nope, that's not the important part. The important part is coming out there as you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, amazing you, Missy. All right, I'll stop talking. Demi, do you want to give us your celebrations?
Yay! This week I'm celebrating having my website back because it was down for like the last 2.5 weeks, and I missed it so much. It was like part of my home was missing, and I wasn't able to, throughout the whole Venus working launch, I wasn't able to edit anything on my website. So I'm very impressed that Venus went so well, considering I could do nothing on my website. And
I am celebrating the fact that I started writing for Enchantress season, and I love Enchantress season. And Sister season is hard for me because it's not, this is in my Morgan Le Fay Mystery School, because it's not this. Enchantress is me. I know exactly what's happening. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm writing some really good articles for the course and for other stuff. And I just feel like I've got my writing mojo back, and I just feel so positive about everything this week. Everything is really good this week. That's how I feel. I'm going to Glastonbury this weekend. And I started my talks with my teacher about making an oracle card deck for Priestess of Rhiannon. So that's beginning slowly.
So exciting.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to be half sewing this little guy while we're on the phone, and then I have to tidy up, and then I have to like get dressed because it's date night today. Valentine's Day.
Beautiful. Thank you, honey. I'm so excited to hear about your writing mojo.
Oh,
yes.
I've got good things. It's come back. I've been writing some crap recently. It's exciting that it's back.
Yay, 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 yay. I'm celebrating my writing mojo. I don't know about the mojo. I don't know what to call it, but definitely Unbound is starting to come together. Like the words were all written. It just felt like here's another 200-page book that just was like, it felt really uninspired. So I reached out to Shirley, Ann, Aphrodite, and Demi, and who else? My teacher, Daniela. And so basically, because Unbound is supposed to be about an aphrodisiac to unleash magical passion in your life and work. And I'm like, a bunch of words ain't going to do it. So I really love images. And I found that with Create Space, like when I made the journal, like you can have basically a full color book and not that expensively. I mean, hopefully it's not all like totally toxic inks, like sweatshops in China or something. I don't know. I don't know how they do it so cheaply, but whatever. So I'm making more of like a graphic novel. So it's going to be, I think, like somewhere in between a book and a really beautiful, like glossy kind of magazine. Because I love magazines. I just want to read and see beautiful, inspirational pictures and quotes. And I was looking at those like public domain paintings, because I think Demi, it was you that posted that beautiful, like the Venus getting eaten out and her both, she had a man on both nipples sucking her nipples. I was like, that's got to be in my book. So I was finding other erotic paintings that are public domain because I can use them. So it's like, so I felt like I had all my muses around me. I'm like, why am I not? Yeah, it's like I really am. And someone told me this who does human design, which I don't know enough about to talk about really, but she says, oh yeah, your model is this and that. It's all sacral chakra and it's all about responding. So you need to respond to something. Like it's really hard for you. She goes, even though if you could generate directly from your sacral chakra, you're you like to respond to what people want and need, and that's what moves you. I'm like, that's true. Because otherwise I feel kind of like, why am I doing this? Why I just get so yeah. So you're all my muses, and I was thinking actually, Suzanne, you probably have beautiful dancing pictures, and you know, I want lots of pictures of beautiful women. Yeah, I have met like some men in paintings. I don't have a lot of man pictures. I'd have to like try to get what's his name, get Aquaman to let me use his pictures for free. That's what I'm like. I need to like make friends with like The Rock and some of those wrestler guys that have the big muscles and have them grease themselves up. But you know, that's not really what Unbound is about. But I was like, it'd be nice to have like maybe some hot man pictures. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So that's what I'm celebrating. All right. So we're going to go down the line again. Aphrodite, let us know if you have anything you want feedback or support around in your business.
I can't really think of anything. I've been thinking about it this whole time. And patience isn't my strongest virtue, but everything is telling me to be patient. Just keep on, you know, digging and doing the work. So, yeah.
So I had to go grab a pen. So what you're saying is you're just telling us you don't need feedback, that you just want us to hold you in patience. Tell me more about what.
Um, well, of course, I wish everything was put together now, and I was doing the work now, and I was selling now, and I had clients now. But um, I also know that um, you know, following the course content, doing the work, laying the foundations is what I have to do. You know, so it's not what I want, but my the wisdom, I know that's what will get me to where I want to be.
Sounds good to me. Does anybody want to comment on that?
Yes. I watched a thing, a Gabrielle Bernstein thing. I'm getting back into my blonde lady face. And in it, she said, those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. And that's something I've been thinking a lot about in my life since I've got my whole romance drama, and also with my business. And I think in the last few years, I've relaxed into the idea that it is going to feed me the Venusian amount of money that I want, and that success is going to come at some point, and it doesn't matter that it's not now, because it's going to come at some point. And that really helps me as well.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I love that quote. Can you post it on the Facebook group later?
Oh, I love it too. There was a really good talk she did as well, actually. I'll post that too on the group.
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, it's well said. Nice. You're a wise one, Madam Aphrodite. So
Yeah, all is well.
good. Suzanne, do you want to let us know if you have a need for feedback or support on something in your business?
Love some opinions on so I do plan to do registration online so that I can avoid these issues in the future with my dance and voice clients. You sign up online, or else I don't schedule you. Easy, not personal. I'm debating if I want a separate website for that, or if I should include that as a page within the Alchemy of Avalon website, which at first I was like, no, they have to be two separate things. That's a bad idea. But then I thought, so many of my dance and voice clients, I mean, they know that I do that, and they often support that, and it might bring more traffic on both ends. So I thought, if I can find a way to make it work with, the archetypes that I need to embody, and the way that I want to, make it authentic and true to myself, that could really work. But I've never done anything like that before. So I just kind of wanted people's opinions. If you think, no, keep it separate, or integrate, or do it this way, or yeah, that would be the main thing. I have like lots and lots of things, but that's kind of the most pressing. So
I don't remember exactly how your website was, organized, but you could totally weave it into what you're already doing, because that's such a part of your Morgan Le Fay-ness, your magical. I mean, the voice that's such a huge instrument of magic. Music is magic. I think you could totally pull it in and find a really beautiful, creative way to weave it into Alchemy of Avalon and really have that be. Yeah, because I would love to take voice lessons. I've taken them before. I haven't taken them in a long time, but I sing a lot with my drumming and in my priestessing and rituals, and it would be nice to actually have more skill and just, some exercises to practice, before you go and do that, so you don't hurt your voice, and there's all kinds of considerations. So yeah, I'm all for it. Do it.
Okay.
And same with the dance. And I will stop talking and let some of the other ladies tell us what they think.
I think that it should be on your site, because if your Alchemy of Avalon was an actual shop, you would have belly dancing nights, you would have singing nights. That's what it would be like.
That's exactly what Sean said, like almost verbatim.
Exactly. And as well, it's so much easier that way, and making another website costs so much money and just puts so much effort in. And you can just have the belly dance coven page, and then you can have like a book your magical voice teaching lesson whatever here page, and then it's just all in one place, and it's very, very easy. And when it does become an actual shop, it will make sense, because you'll be advertising your classes and your belly dance covering in the shop, you'll be advertising your voice lessons in the shop, and it's just your little Avalon house.
Oh my God, yes. It's like you know me or something.
Would have done it, girl.
That made me so happy. Cool. I love it. Belly dance coven page. It does work, I guess, with my branding, because like a lot of the belly dance stuff I do is gothic, so it's like, creepy chicks with black hair, so it makes sense. Just
It's who you are, and your brand.
It's not all that I do, but it's a good chunk of it. So yeah. Yay. Cool.
Does anyone else want to jump in?
So I don't know everything about your website and everything, but what's the story of Alchemy of Avalon that you tell us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you continue to weave all these things into it. So it's like a story you're telling us. So if the voice, you just continue to weave things into it and continue to present it. That's how I see it.
Yes, that brings up actually that's good that you said it that way, because in my bio, I've been meaning to update that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
In my bio on the homepage, I talk about that I was singing, and I was pursuing voice in New York City when I realized I wanted to focus on herbalism and turn more towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's sort of coming more full circle, and I'm finding a better way to integrate that. So yeah, so I think I should also literally make a change in my bio and kind of tell the story a little differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on your website, you sell teas for like opera singers and stuff, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, there is a singer tea on there.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it, because I wanted to help singers. So
well, there you go.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies.
Welcome.
I'm beginning to think that we do all this stuff thinking about, we should look like this, and we can't put too many things on our site, and we can't be all these things. And then the longer we're at it, we're like, fuck it. The whole point of having our own business and our own brand is so that we can be ourselves on the internet and just do what we do without having to like mold to some imaginary internet marketing rule, which doesn't exist, because who the fuck's policing that exactly?
Yes. Yeah.
The only dumbasses will police that shit.
You don't
Know
want
the
that.
people in our world.
Yes.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. I love it. Arwen, yay, so glad you made it, darling. Do you want to tell us what you're celebrating this week? Maybe you're going to type for us, because sometimes I know you can't use your microphone. Yes, you will type. We'll give you a moment then. And I just want to say how impressed I am by how efficient you all are. It's only like 10:30. Last week we were like, really felt like we didn't run really far behind, but it was like, wow. You women are just like bing, bang, boom. It's our Bella Mafia, right, Shirley? And Demi's coming to my house. She's gonna do a dance workshop at my house. My roommate is so excited, by the way, because you're like this big rock star. They're like, yeah, Demi, oh my God, she studies with Zoe Jakes and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how do you know more about her? They're very excited. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun to brainstorm with you, girl, and host you here, because I think what's nice about hosting you here is we have mirrors, we have a big room, and then you kind of can keep all your monies and you don't have to pay a space. That's what my hope is. Because once we move all the furniture, you could fit, but we've had like 12, 15 women in there. So it'll be fun. Okay.
Soiree Temple Day.
Yes, and then I know we're going to head over to Phoenix to go see Madame Suzanne, the other amazing dancer.
Yay. We're so excited.
It's exciting stuff.
We can't decide which classes we want you to teach. It's too many good choices.
So cool. All right, so let me read Arwen's note. It says, I'm celebrating. I've asked two of my most trusted friends to be readers for me as I process. Hold on a second. I move this over. As I process all this Princess Path stuff into something that right now feels like it's heading towards a book. I've been wanting to ask you to support me in this with my friends because of past experiences. I don't want to lose their friendships. Yeah. Congratulations, Arwen. That's great. So you're saying that they're going to read chapters of your book, like as you're writing it? How are you working it? Yeah, so I was just going to say I had beta readers for my first book. I think I had 3. And 2 of them were really involved and gave me really great feedback. So yeah, I mean, if you find that one drops off or both drop off, don't feel bad. Beta readers sometimes will do that. So it's not a big deal. You just have to find somebody new. And you could, there's lots of women in the group who would probably love to beta read for you and would, be good readers, including me. I'm happy to read your stuff too and give you feedback if you want. So I'll throw my hat in the ring. So you're setting up a blog right now for them to read your thoughts. Help me hold the vision, but allow me creative freedom. Yeah, girl. Awesome. Yeah, you might, like I said, you might want to have a third or fourth person in case 1 or 2 people drop out or, get busy and then maybe can't be timely about their feedback with you. That happens. So it's just part of that process. So just so you don't worry about it if it happens, because it may not happen, but just in case. Okay, so I think Demi, you are next for the feedback ring. Feedback. Yeah. What would you like to know?
2 things. Clean this paintbrush. Can't believe I'm gonna put paint destroying my stuff. I nearly finished my Jake. He's nearly finished. Woohoo! Okay. My questions are. One of them is about. My plan was to run, because I run the winter mystery school and I run the summer mystery school and I run the big course, and it's like a funnel process, and I haven't run the winter mystery school in quite a long time and I would like to run it again, but my plan was to run it just a little, I need dollar really, just a little thing at the beginning of next month, but I don't know if I have enough time to market it or whether it's just a pointless thing. And I'll still be running the other one, I'll still be running Venus Working, so it might make more sense to run it in April. I think that makes more sense. What do you think? It's a month long and it's the little one rather than, I think the summer school one's much more, it's bigger. So
I would wait. I would wait until after Venus Working is done, and that way maybe some of the Venus Working people might want to do it, you know.
Okay, cool. So in that case, I will be very slowly seeding Morgan Le Fay Winter Mystery School happening probably around my birthday in April. And then my big plan was to do a lot of soft marketing, so then I'm ready to redo Venus Working again in May. I love this course. I love this course so much, and I want to make sure loads of people take it. So that was my marketing plan. But I do need some money. So I have to figure out how to make some money in the next month because I have so much stuff to pay for. And at the moment, all my income seems to be around my birthday, and that's a bit late for what I want to do. And yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm running a goddess workshop, which I hope I can sell a whole bunch of tickets on. Who knows? We'll find out. And yeah, I just don't know. It's the whole need money, where can it come from question. And the other question I had was about our homework, and it was about the superpowers thing on week 3. The magic superpowers question, the brand superpowers, and I wrote about it in the group, but I had a really tough time trying to figure out what my brand superpowers were.
Why? Because you have so many. Or just how to talk about them. What's tell me more about the resistance, or what are you feeling?
I don't know. I feel like I don't quite know what my superpowers are or what my magic is. I know what I'm good at. I'm good at writing, and people seem to like what I do because it gives them permission to feel like they can fuck up and it's okay. I get that a lot from people, and the kind of fun aspect of stuff, but I don't know all the things that I look at and I admire in my characters. I feel like I don't really have that much, but then when other people talk about me, they seem to think I have things that I feel like I struggle at. So
yeah, so it sounds like it's about bridging between who you are and who you're becoming. I think that might be part of what you're feeling, is that you and you don't, like I said, you don't have to finish every single, brand superpower in 1 week. It evolves over time as you step more into who you really are and who you're really wanting to become. So I would play with who you're becoming, because I feel like you already are really clear about what you're really good at and what your skills and what your gifts are that you have to offer. But especially looking at future stuff for you, you could do even more with writing, teaching people around writing permission slips for themselves, or writing, how are you taking some of those gifts and putting them to work. Like, I still think a VIP day for you would be genius, or a couple of different ones to bring in money.
That is on my
but yeah, your brand superpowers are totally about creating this enchanted world that they can place in all of this beauty, all of this Venus magic, Morgan Le Fay, Yeah, I would start looking at how you're swirling together some of those goddess archetypes too.
Hmm.
Play around with that. I just play with it. You don't have to have anything definitive right now. I would just, it feels like it's brewing. So let it brew, and bubble. And it's like you have this cauldron of all these amazing things, and it's going to just emerge for you.
Okay. One other thing I'm celebrating this week that I forgot to mention is that I listened to my own advice. Ha 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 ha. And I properly did a bunch of the work that I've been telling everybody else to do in Morgan Le Fay Mystery School. And I feel like it's just completely changed my world and my perception of who I am and what I am doing and who I am as a priestess. And I feel so much more connected to what my point is than I have before. And my point is so Venusy. It's just so Venusy. Just so Venusy. And I worry about like the Morgan Le Fay stuff and the Venus stuff and losing the Morgan Le Fay stuff because of the Venus stuff. But I'm sure that's just my brain worrying about things, because Morgan is the midwife, so you can have those realizations. And I don't know, it's been a very big week.
Yeah, that's major. It's okay to have two goddesses. And I was laughing the other day because, you have Venus in Capricorn and you have your classes called Venus Working. And I was just like, I think you could also bring in more business stuff. I mean, you have a lot of business savvy. I think that's kind of on the realm for you too, having your own business, the Morgan Le Fay business course or the Venus Working, having it, you could extend it into more businessy advice and how to write. You've got all those gifts. You could totally do it. So I see a whole trajectory for you, but you've got that Capricorn and Venus. It's like totally, it is Venus working. She's how to make that work really pleasurable and magical and sexy and juicy. And
Yeah, I've always been a bit wary about doing the business stuff because I don't want to be one of those people on the internet that just seems to make money telling other people how to do their businesses when their business is just about telling other people how to do their businesses. And I felt like everybody ends up in this teaching people to do business thing, and I'm not sure about it yet. But I really like going through your taboo persona with you, and I'd like to do more of that with people because that's really fun.
you're really good at it. You're really good with shadow work. So, I mean, I feel like that's definitely a Morgana. Well, that kind of combines Venus and Morgana because the Venus is like, Venus is very uncompromising with what she desires. She's like, I'm going to fucking have it. I'm going to fucking have it now, you know.
Shirley says yes.
I think that you definitely have, there's going to be some big stuff coming out of Demelza. I feel it. Yeah, so just let it brew. It's going to all bubble up when it's the right form for you and how you want to express it. But yeah, I see huge things. Much more. I know this was a huge year for you too, but I feel like there's even more growth happening kind of below the surface. And I also, as far as, bringing in more cash, I was thinking, because you're doing you're going to be doing a workshop here in California. We should probably let people pay in advance. Like you could put a registration page up once we have decided on the exact date and what you really probably should. I want you to collect stuff in advance. I mean, we'll leave it open for walkthroughs for people who walk in, but I think should we start really telling people about it now? And maybe even on Suzanne's end, and then you could start collecting all those registrations, the month before you even get here.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Oh, there's so much cool stuff happening. I feel like last week just a switch went in my brain, and now everything just feels so much better than it did before. I think it's partly spring. I think it's partly running Venus working, and I don't know. I just feel like everything is magical again. I've been on such a fucking roller coaster. I'm like, the last few months, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've had a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We don't have that much time left, so I want to have Arwen. Arwen wrote, Demi, what you're celebrating, you feel like you're more grounded from what I'm sensing through the screen. That's cool. Arwen, did you want any feedback from us or support? She's typing right now, I'm sure. So give her a moment.
Did Suzanne have other things she wanted to ask as well?
Well, there might be some other people too, Demi, who might want to talk to you about your feedback, but I want to give, Arwen said, I'm not sure right now. I asked to keep me supported with the friendships, but beyond that, I just need to dive into my writing. Okay. Thank you, Arwen. So, before we go into a second, I don't know if there's gonna be time to go into another of Suzanne's questions, but does anybody else want to comment on Demi's questions?
I totally thought of something. I can't remember now. But I will say, I loved what you posted a few days ago, Demi, about you had a business meeting with Morgana and Venus, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. So, I would love to hear more about that. And it seems like that was a really good turnaround point for you as well. And as far as your superpowers, I didn't want you to think I saw it, but I didn't comment because a lot of the things I kept thinking of before I went to type them, then I was like, no, that's still Venus. No, that's still Venus. A lot of it just kept to me falling into a very Venusian category. But I don't know if maybe this is Captain Obvious, but the sisterhood thing, creating groups of women that, I don't know, you have a very uncanny knack for drawing the right people together. It's not just that you draw them to you, it's connecting them with each other, and that's a really powerful magic. And also, I think inclusiveness is a word that comes to mind when I think of your superpowers. So you really do encourage other people. You had this in one of your other things, but you encourage other people to just be themselves. And but you foster not only helping people find that for themselves, but as a dynamic too. You have a group dynamic of that as well. I think that's the best way to describe it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
That's so lovely.
Yeah. So I don't know, of which one of your archetypal characters that would necessarily link to, but yeah, it's the fostering sisterhood, inclusiveness, and group dynamic magic is definitely a superpower. So
Thank you, Suzanne. That's lovely. I'm gonna write that down. Smart lady.
yeah, it kind of is Venusian and Morgana-ish, because Venus had the Graces or the Muses, right? They were her sisters, and Morgana also, obviously has the Avalonian sisterhood thing going on. So they have that in common.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if the two of you want to have a three-way chat, we can have a chat about the workshops and marketing together. Maybe that would be really powerful.
So, that would be cool.
Yeah.
For the dance stuff, you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Aphrodite, did you want to add anything to Demi's feedback?
I want to say thank you for reminding me that Venus or Aphrodite wants it now. And you know, so to stop being Miss Nice Girl and to tap into that, tap into that desire, so thank you. And I hope I see you too when you come to California. So.
I'm so excited that I can actually meet you. I'm so excited about America. I'm so excited. Every now and again I forget and then I remember things and I get so excited.
Yeah.
Fantastic work, ladies, today. So yeah, think about what your big aha for the mastermind was today. What did you take away? And it could have been from a comment someone else made for somebody else. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly feedback for you. Let's see. I didn't get a chance to write all my aha moments down, but I loved the Gabrielle Bernstein quote that Demi talked about. And Shirley Ann, Aphrodite, talking about patience and the process. And that seemed to come up a couple of times about being ourselves and just allowing these different aspects of ourselves come forward and, show who we're becoming and not trying to rush through the process. That was a big takeaway for me. Yeah, and just remembering, the Venus is that desire. These desires are all about, the desire is what we're becoming, I think. It's us. So yeah, we keep coming back to Venus. She's a big goddess for us here, which of course, I want to do everything with pleasure at the center. So yay. I love what Demi was talking about when she was doing her own homework. That happens for me when I do the homework in here too. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, that's why I always come back to doing the same process, because it works for me over and over again, like a rinse and repeat, because I find more juice. I find more goodies to discover. And Arwen wrote, Venus wants it now was a bit of a hop for me, kind of, and it's okay to be that way, acceptance. Yeah, totally. So Aphrodite, what's your takeaway for today?
It's just that Venus wants it now, Aphrodite wants it now, and to honor that, to stop being all grown up and poised, and to let it be messy and rapturous too. So I'm really going to tap into that. Thank you.
Thank you. And Suzanne?
It was more of a thought that popped into my head while we were talking, if that's okay. So it was before we even got into the feedback, but when you were talking about, maybe this is the beginning of the aha, Chris, when you said, I don't think anybody is just one thing with just one business. I wrote that down, and that's why we use archetypes, because multiple superpowers fall into one archetype. Then I started to think about one thing that I didn't realize was holding me back, like subconsciously in my business was the fear of or rather this feeling that I had to be 100% unique. I had to be like, no one else is doing what I'm doing. Otherwise I won't be successful if someone is. I'm like, that's a lie. It's totally okay. I don't have to be 100% unique. I just have to be 100% authentic, but it's okay if there are other people out there running businesses that are similar to mine. And actually, the more I think about it, that it's a good thing if there are. So yeah, that's my aha. I don't have to be like, I don't have to put that kind of pressure on myself.
Amen. I love that. That's a great takeaway. I was thinking that too, like when I was writing my revolution, I think that's week 4, I was like, God, my revolution sounds like 10 other people's. And that's the thing. It's like, we're making it, even though we're completely unique people and we're doing business, I'm a business coach. There's a million other business coaches out there. I love how Debbie teaching people how to do their business by teaching them how to do their business. That was really cute. That was a great way of putting it. But at the same time, if you think of like Starbucks, would the mom and pop coffee shops and tea, would tea be as popular without a Starbucks, without like these businesses that have become like flagship businesses, huge, massive, popular sorts of things? Like a lot of people were putting down Doreen Virtue. It's like, well, without Doreen Virtue, most people wouldn't have an Oracle deck. I mean, everybody and their sister reads Oracle cards now and has Oracle cards and Tarot cards, probably because Doreen Virtue. Mm-hmm. Even though she's totally out of her gourd right now, but poor thing. Hopefully she'll come back to reality. As I ride naked across Ojai on my unicorn with glitter and pentacles and pentagrams all over myself. Yeah. So, yeah, I love that. That's a great aha, Suzanne. Thank you. And Demi, darling, your aha?
I think my aha was something about Suzanne's business, how bringing everything together, and that it's okay for your website and your business to be everything you are, and you don't have to separate stuff out. And yeah, that I have been fighting against that for the last 10 years, but I think I'm slowly learning that ballet dance and tea and voice singing can all be the same thing.
Yeah, because she has that beautiful way to weave it all together into that Avalon story, because it's who she is, right? Yeah. And then you brought up something really good, Demi, was that, yeah, the cost of making a new website, the cost and time it takes to maintain another website is stupid. I mean, unless you're like multimillionaire and, the voice thing becomes like this huge thing, and then you might want to do. But yeah, at this point, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's always a good reality check. It's like, do you have the time and money to actually do another website? No. I know I don't. So yeah, reality checks are really important. And Arwen shared her aha. So yeah, I think we're done for this week. And I don't know if you want to weigh in for a minute about if you want masterminds every week, as opposed to readings every week and then do readings every other week. Do you guys want to weigh in a little bit now on that, or do you want to think about it?
I can actually cast my vote now. I would actually vote for both every other week.
So just do it on Wednesdays, or do you want one on Wednesdays and one on Thursdays?
That doesn't matter to me, but I think like having a week off from both is a good thing for me. Like kind of let everything marinate a little bit, let it kind of settle in, and then, start over in 2 weeks. So like maybe like a new moon and full moon kind of deal, something like that.
Yeah, because I'm going to be adding more rituals. We still need to do our Yemaya ritual, which I was planning to be a new moon ritual anyways. Yeah, so because then it gets to be too many things and you think, yeah, it could be overwhelming. Okay, so your vote is for every other week for each one.
Yeah, I think maybe something that might work is, I think every other week as it is works quite well, because I haven't managed to put into action stuff from last Mastermind yet, so I think that's something I want to be able to do. But like last time it took a really long time because we had so many people, so maybe a thing is people have to RSVP on the event page, so there's an amount of people that can come, because otherwise it just takes too long. Maybe that could be an option. So whatever is a good amount of people to run it, they have to book in, and those of us who manage to rock up for most of them, we can graciously bow out so the people who can't always make it can come.
Yeah, but a lot of times, you know, the same people show up, the same 4 or 5 people show up, and it's because they really want to do the work. So yeah, it might be hard to get people to RSVP. What I'm thinking of is, maybe since I was going to delegate Demi, maybe if there was a 3 extra people, that maybe I would let you do a break off group with them, because you have the agenda. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're really good in business and know a lot of stuff. So, and then the thing is, like I said, we could bring people back together and then, you know, cross-pollinate our notes. So that's a possibility too. But I love that idea of an RSVP. I'm willing to try it to see if it works. But I think right now it's maybe not that big of an issue, because we usually get 4 or 5 people, and it seems to be, it's only 11:05, so we've only gone 5 minutes over. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I'm free.
There she is, sexy mama. Aphrodite and Arwen, any thoughts on the scheduling?
I'm torn. You know, one part of me wants to meet every week, you know, but then I think about you. You know, wouldn't that be too much for you?
Well, if I did a mastermind every week, then I would do the readings every other week.
Mm-hmm.
So it would still be the same schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so maybe what I'll just do is keep it this way for now, and maybe put a poll up and let everybody vote, or maybe send an email out, so it's more secretive and people might be more honest about what they want to see and what they want to be doing. Okay. And Arwen, your sleeping situation, is too irregular for you to RSVP. And I'm with Shirley on what is good for you. Thank you. Yeah, no, so far what we have set up is really good for me, and I don't have any problems with it. It was just like me worrying about future stuff, which maybe I don't need to worry about. That, you know, we'll figure out the solutions. Bye, honey. See you later. That we figure out the solutions as we go along. We love you too, Demi. All right. So I have a few more minutes if anybody wants to ask another question, because I know Suzanne had multiple questions, but if you need to jump off, we could wait until, is it the 27th, I think, is our next time.
Okay.
Is that right? Okay.
After Suzanne, I have a brief question.
Okay.
That's okay with you.
I was just going to say, you can go ahead, because I've got to leave to get Celine from nursery school from a day in a minute. So yeah, I'll save my questions for next time. I'll be at the next one. So
okay. Thank you. And you're also welcome to post stuff just in the Facebook group if you need, you know, support sooner, just post it. And thank you for all you brought today, Suzanne. Really helpful. Thank you.
I feel like I'm coming back into the zone now. Like, I feel like I can start tackling the lessons a little bit more and getting my head on straight. So.
Oh, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Go ahead, Aphrodite. What did you want to ask?
So the awareness I received has just unleashed what I'm feeling, but I couldn't verbalize because it wasn't as clear. I don't want to wait anymore until everything is perfect. You know, yes, I'm building the school, and yes, the school will be the structured thing, and there's no problem there. But I want to start having the conversations now. You know, I want to start coaching. I don't like the word coaching, but you know what I mean. I want to start doing the work now, and I realized this call has made me realize how much I've been suppressing that.
Oh,
And I don't want to do it anymore. That's why the word rapturous, you know, um, it's like passion unleashed. I want to do it now. So my question is, what do I do first? What steps do I take to start doing the work now? One-on-one, individually, now.
I think what would be really beautiful for you would be like personal retreats. I mean, they're kind of like what a VIP day is, but I like the idea of a personal retreat you could create for women, either virtually or in person. Because you're working with women first, right? Or are you working with both women and men? Because I know you.
You know, it's not going to, from now on, neat and tidy no more. I want to open. I want to be open to receive who is ready. So yes, it could be men or women.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe drafting up some copy around and make it like a beautiful, like how you write with that, just that lusciousness, like make it like almost like a love letter / invitation to, you could send it to specific people. You could post it online with a beautiful graphic, because you have such beautiful graphics. I'm thinking you just have the simple things of that you want to create a personal retreat, and just list, at least I would say 5 benefits, what they're going to get out of it. That's probably should come next. And then maybe what you would tell them, describe what the day could look like, and that it's customized for them. That way, because you probably don't really quite know exactly what everybody wants, what your SDC wants, because you haven't been doing this long enough. So this would be a great way to get to know who your SDC is, because people will respond back.
Yes.
And I would have like an application. You could send them to an application, or just have them email you for interest. And then you could send them like maybe just a 3-question kind of application about what it is they want, what is like the perfect miracle day. And then maybe have like a checkbox of, would you like to paint? Would you like to be adorned? Would you like to be, would you like to do some journal writing? Would you like to, what I mean? Like I would write down all these little cool things that you could do with them during that time. And, decide, do you want to make it a 4 or a 6 hour, personal retreat?
Okay.
I think that's how I would approach it. And then you'll start getting a really good idea of, okay, these people are coming to me, and it'll be really fun for you. And you could actually dive into your work.
Yes.
And so you could probably also put in like a little thing to have like a 20-minute discovery call, where I do have some questions that I think, like you don't ask, how can I help you? That might be, again, not give you the right kind of information. So I was going to post some good, like how to figure out what your SDCs want help with, kind of questions. And I forgot to do that a couple days ago. So I'm writing a note to myself, but if you don't see it in the next few hours, remind me, go ahead and send me a private message. So how to ask right questions for your SDC. And then Arwen might have feedback for you.
Yes, I'm just reading it. Oh, yes, I would love for you to be a beta. Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. So thank you. I'm ready. I want to.
Yeah, and you could also just open it up to interview people that you think might be your SDC. And you could say, I'm thinking about putting together some personal retreats, and I have some ideas, and I would love, to talk with you about it. And I'll send you this homemade little rose or something, give them like a little gift. So that's another option where you could start the conversation to get more information first before even putting out an offer.
Okay.
So you could play around with those ideas.
Like in the form of interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you would want to hand select those people for the most part, but then you could also, put something on Instagram, say, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Who would be really interested in this, and would you be willing to, have a 15-minute conversation? And
Okay.
I'll send you my hand-painted card or something. It's just a little goodie to get them to know how much you appreciate them giving their time.
Of course. Of course. Okay. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Arwen. That's great. Arwen,
Arwen.
I think I'm going to jump off, but Arwen, did you have any other last questions or anything you needed feedback on before we go? Okay. Have a gorgeous day, ladies. And I guess afternoon for you, Arwen. And thanks again for being here and being, contributing. You all contribute so much to these masterminds, your insights and brilliance.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful for all of you. So thank you.